Today's Good Friday. And before Jesus went to the cross to be crucified on Good Friday, he went to the whipping post. Why did he go to the whipping post? Isaiah chapter 53 verse 5 says, "He was pierced for our transgressions, he was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was on his shoulders. By his stripes you are healed." Matthew chapter 8 verse 17, Jesus had just gone around healing people, driving out demons, and says, this was to fulfill what was spoken by the prophet Isaiah. He took our illnesses and bore our diseases. He aggressively grabbed hold of illness. Illness is any form of weakness, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, any form of weakness. He aggressively grabbed hold of it and bore our diseases. He carried our diseases, anything that's going to kill you. 1 Peter 2 verse 24 says, he himself bore our sins in his body on that tree, that we might die to sin and live to righteousness. By his stripes, that whipping at the healing whipping post, you have, past tense, been healed. Have been healed, that word for healed is a term that never occurs as just a medical term. It occurs as a term that's always spoken about God's intervention of reversing the effects of the curse result from Genesis chapter 3, from the fall of man. Reversing any physical, mental, emotional effects that have happened as a result of Genesis 3. In fact, that verse also includes he bore our sin in his body. So it's reversing of everything that did in Genesis chapter 3. If that's the case, if we have been healed, why do people still teach it's God's will for you to be sick? God allows sickness. God gives you sickness to teach you lessons. I believed those lies for years. I lived in the bed for 6 years and was disabled for the greater part of 15 years, believing those lies. Why would God go through all this pain and suffering of healing us if it's his will for us to be sick? And if it is God's will for us to be sick, as so many people teach, if it is God's will for us to be sick, if I go to the doctor or take medicine, am I going against God's will? And if it is God's will for us to be sick, as so many people teach, is God really good and loving?